Good Morning Society. I'm Becca Scott.
Hey, I'm Lyon.
We have Grant in the house, everybody. If you're not following all of Grant's gaming channels, I'm sure you already are if you're here because he's the one in the know about everything.
Well, this is my first time on Good Morning Society,
welcome to Good
thanks for
Morning
having
Society.
me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being my co-host today. Ruel had a family affair. He couldn't be here today, but sends his love.
Yes. I mean, I still have the baseball hat and the glasses like Ruel, so we're kind of similar.
We do have that requirement on the show at all times, and thank you for fulfilling it today. All right, so what are we going to be talking about, you may ask? I, as the person in the driver's seat that will be responsible and will be running things instead of just being an agent of chaos.
And you're not at all worried about the responsibility level and stuff like that.
It's fine. It's totally fine. I can handle it. There's so many things happening, but before we get to that, we got to shout out our sponsor for today. Today's sponsor is World Series of Board Games. Did you make it out last year?
I did. I've been the last 2 years.
Did you compete?
I did not compete. Okay, something to know about me is I'm wildly competitive, and I have really tamped down that part of myself to be involved in the world of board games. And so I am nervous that if I partake in the competition aspect of it, I will be a jerk. And
I think that is the environment in which it's acceptable.
Yeah, but I don't want to like yell at somebody or any of that sort of stuff. Like
okay, you're that kind of competitive.
Yeah,
you're road rage competitive.
Yeah. I mean, but I've done a good job at like compartmentalizing these aspects of myself.
All right. I say mission in therapy is integrate these parts and then come play magic with me.
I definitely,
because I'm wearing my Wizard of the Bard shirt today.
I definitely, not my proudest moment, but last night I was winning this game with my roommates, and we've been playing it a lot recently called Fishing. It's a great card game, and we've played like 5 games, and I finished second like the last 3 games.
I understand. I would yell.
And last night I was winning and going into the final round, and I was like, oh, I'm going to win for like the first time. And then one dude played 2 -3 cards on me, which is like, and I was like, I'm never playing this game again. And everybody was like, what? And I was like, I'm telling you right now, you play that card on me, I'm never playing this game again. Like,
did you rip up the cards?
I wanted to. Then I had enough of a lead that I won, and so I was like, okay, this resets it. Now I can lose like 4 games in a row. I can lose. I just know that I've won a game, so.
I completely relate to all of these feelings. I know there's a lot of cooperative gamers out there, and I respect that they are able to not care as deeply as we care about winning this.
Yes. But one thing to note about World Series of Board Games is there is like a whole open play area where someone like me can go and have a good time and not actually just do the competition. There's stuff outside of the competition as well. What
was your favorite thing outside the competition? Just like the people hanging out and
playing games with people. Everybody's real friendly. Everybody, and I think people, they do the competition stuff, but then they want a break from the competitive environment. So then out in the opening, exactly.
Mr.
Like I'm like, all right,
Did you do a comedy set?
I did a comedy set, yeah.
I don't know anyone. Well, you and Paula Dimming are the 2 people that have fused comedy and board gaming so beautifully. It is truly an inspiration. And it's been a long time since I mentioned our sponsor before I even got to today's show preview. So let's go ahead and roll this sweet little ad from WSBG.
Oh my God, there it is.
Think you've got what it takes to compete for the ring and your share of $250,000? Well, get ready, because signups for 2025 start now. Come for the friendly competition or open gaming community. At WSBG, we've got it all. Are you the next big name in board gaming? Get your tickets now at WSBGVegas.com and use the code EARLYBIRD to save yourself $100 and be automatically entered to win one of 3 incredible prizes. There's no better time than now. So what are you waiting for? It's time to get in the game.
Yay! Thanks, World Series of Board Games. And we have one other sponsor, and that is you.
Hey.
You could help sponsor the show and everything we do at Good Time Society by going to patreon.com/goodtimesociety.
Nice.
And we will be doing some special perks for patrons when we launch our Kickstarter, and it's now moving to March because of the LA wildfires. There are better fundraisers right now, but we will still, you can sign up to be notified when we go live on our Blood on the Clock Tower Kickstarter.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, got your name on my list if we fund.
Yeah.
And what we're doing today, we've got GTS happenings. We're going to do our grab bag of games where we talk about some cool upcoming games coming to retail and crowdfunding. And we have a special society sidebar that Ruel was kind enough to pre-tape. We'll get to that in a minute. And then finally, a very important segment we call Jacked Up Matchup, where we play a game right here on the show, a quick one we can play in 20 minutes or less. And this special game was designed by this guy right here.
Hey, that's fun.
Yeah. At the end, we're going to be playing.
What a crazy coincidence.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Before we get into some other stuff, do you want to? We'll get to big deal. We'll get to big deal.
Yeah.
But hold on to your dills.
Yeah. You know, one fun thing that I never really realized is if you design a game about pickles, you will be gifted tons of pickle stuff. I've been given so many pickle-themed things. I do like pickles, but I wasn't prepared for the avalanche of pickle stuff coming my way.
I'm really happy for you. Yeah. What is your favorite pickle-related item you've received?
I got a jar of glittery pickles in slime, like fake pickles.
Oh, so not for eating.
Not for eating. Just for like touching and weirdly.
I'm like, I wouldn't trust edible glitter, even if they say you can eat it. Yeah. I wouldn't eat that.
I got dill-flavored marshmallows. Not the best, but it was a fun experience. I don't know that those mix.
Trader Joe's has dill-flavored popcorn.
Yep, there you go. That seems more appropriate.
I should have brought you some. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I love it. I can't wait to play the game because I've heard about it for a while, and today's the big day. Also, a few GTS happenings. We have 3 new videos up on the channel. We have Flesh and Blood. Ray, do you know which Flesh and Blood this is?
I think I'll check. I'll check. I'll report back.
Yeah, that's going to be great. In addition to War of the Ring playthrough, that's with Jake and our good friend that runs a game shop up in Seattle? Portland.
Nailing it. You know what? I can tell you.
Both of them.
Yeah.
We got Flesh and Blood First Strike with Candace Harris from Board Game Geek, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is
Board Game Geek news coming up hot in just a minute, having to do with Candace that we learned on that day of filming.
And spoiler alert, there's more fun Flesh and Blood videos coming your way. Becca just somewhat revealed, I would say. So stay tuned. I don't know. They'll have to keep checking the YouTube.
Was I there? I was.
Yeah.
I've really been feeling Flesh and Blood. Have you played?
No, I haven't.
I have been playing for these videos we've been creating.
Okay.
And don't tell my other love of magic how much I'm really enjoying Flesh and Blood.
Nice.
Okay, we have War of the Ring. Of course, Jake, you're not mic'd, but maybe later you can tell us about that video and how fun it was to shoot. And one that is...
I'm not even mic'd? Oh, I'm mic'd.
We did it just in case, just for this.
Oh my gosh, it was such a fun playthrough with my buddy Sam DeRose from Woodland War Machine. And we play an epic tale of, I don't know, the ring trying to be dunked into Mordor while I try and stop him. It's a great playthrough by us, and it's a solid 2 hours long, which is hard to do with a game that epic. So I was very proud we got it down to that runtime.
Very cool. Congrats on your runtime.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to forever refer to it as dunking the ring in Mordor. Yo, Sam, dunk that ring.
Alley-oop it to Sam White.
Yeah, we got to be clear, it's basketball dunk, because I thought it sounded kind of like you're just going to dip it in and then chomp down, you know?
Yeah. And then the final video, you'll notice my hair is shorter. It's called Table Talk. We interviewed my friend Bob, who is a competitive Song of Ice and Fire player.
Oh, interesting.
We also live streamed that day a game. And look, miniature skirmish games are not a genre I have dove deep into.
Sure.
And I get why people love this one. I had a blast playing it.
It is interesting to me how like sort of separate that world feels sometimes, right?
Oh, yeah.
There are like miniatures gamers that don't do any other board gamers, and a lot of board gamers
Magic
never
players.
play
Flesh and blood
miniatures
players.
games. Yeah. For sure.
There's the Omni gamers like us.
Yeah.
Although you're a party gamer.
But I'm an Omni gamer.
Yeah.
I like a lot of different stuff. I'll go like medium weight, medium plus. I just don't dip my toes into heavyweight games. It's too much for my little brain.
I don't think that's true at all. I think you're just don't like to sit there for 4 hours.
I don't have the patience.
You need to
That
do
is
something
very
else.
true.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience when it's not my turn, but then when it comes back to my turn, I do.
Sure.
All right. So that's what we're up to today. One more cool announcement. Speaking of Candace Harris from BGG, Board Game Geek has announced something that's been in the works for a minute, the Board Game Geek Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This honors games that have made meaningful contributions to the board game hobby in the areas of innovation, artistry, and impact. The jury that chose these games based them off of things that have been around for 10 years or more, and what people decided had a profound and lasting impact on the hobby. And so it looks like they've only announced the first 5 games, unless I'm crazy and there's a next page.
I thought they had done
Some rock stars, though.
The first 5 have been announced. The rest will be revealed throughout the week. Stay tuned. So first up, Diplomacy, Classic, Acquire.
Underrated.
We can talk about these games all day, but we'll never get to the rest of our show. Cosmic Encounter, which I'm very excited to. I will be diving into very soon on another super.
Can I admit something that I will get my gamer? I've never played Cosmic Encounter.
I bought it and I read the rules recently and I am in. I feel like it. For me, I think that what it's going to do is to thread the needle between party game and crunchy game.
Sure. Well,
That's what I'm looking for.
It's one that I'd like to play at some point because I love social games. I love the social aspect of games, and that's a strategy game that has a lot of socialness to it.
Yeah.
And also, I would say just congrats to BGG. Part of the reason they're doing the Hall of Fame right now is because this year is the 25th anniversary of BGG. And
that's a really good point that I forgot to bring up. And I did realize that we are 15 games deep because there are 3 links for days 1, 2, and 3 because today is Wednesday.
Oh, we're going back.
Yeah, come on back. Number 6, Magic the Gathering. And I think if we skim through this video, you may see a familiar face. It me there.
And if you keep going, I'm in it too.
You're in here too? Talking about Magic?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was going to be multiple people.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, 11 minutes.
I think I'm like 2/3 of the way in.
I believe you're in a bunch of these, right? What other games?
I'm in like 3 of them.
Are your 3 out yet? Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, I don't know.
There you are.
Hey, all right. I did Magic the Gathering. What are the other ones released so far?
Oh, yeah, Catan. Yep, heard of it. I actually played a Catan Junior, and I maybe enjoyed it more than Catan.
No, we just gave away our copy of Catan Junior, having never played it.
Shoot.
Oops.
El Grande.
El Grande, I played here at Good Time Society for the first time with Jake and Ruel.
I have not played it, but I have watched
really
the playthrough of it on No Rules Barred. I really like it.
Yeah.
I got Ruel in the middle there.
Ooh, nice. Oh, wait. You spotted? Anyway, we can spin forever on this. I hope you all check it out, and we'll just skim past the third day.
Raw,
There's Tigris
I'm in the
and
Raw
Euphrates.
one. Raw is in my top 10 games of all time, I think.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Ruel talks about Raw a lot.
It's so great. If you
I've
haven't
never
played
played.
it's still, I think, in my top 10 games of all time.
Okay, maybe we'll need to bring it in here, do a playthrough, and quick, don't look at my outlet. We're going to go to the day 3 real fast. Okay, there we go. And
I got you. Come on. I'm locked in now. You threw me one curveball. I'm locked in.
Carcassonne, my husband could have been in that video because he loves some Carcassonne.
Nice.
Anytime I suggest we play a board game, that's his first pitch. Every single time.
Really?
And I have
Still
made him
years
play,
later.
Like, he's played Dune Imperium with me.
Sure.
He likes it. He's played everything. He loves Carcassonne.
Becca, I think the first game we ever played together was Carcassonne.
Where?
On
When?
a stream during the pandemic when everything was online. I was supposed to play a different game with you and we couldn't get it to load. And so we were like, let's just play Carcassonne.
Let's just play some Carcassonne. It is let's just play a comfort play.
Yeah, I can't remember what we were going to play. And there were like 4 or 5 of us.
I love that.
Yeah, I think it was the
when
first
you're
game we played
live, the
together.
show's got to go on.
Yep.
Are you in any of these other ones? We've got Power Grid.
No.
Ticket to Ride.
Oh, yes, I'm in the Ticket to Ride one.
Naturally. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Kalis, Twilight Struggle. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the announcement there. And we're finally going to get to our grab bag of games compiled by the wonderful Ruel. So the first one we're going to talk about is Horrified Dungeons and Dragons. Ooh. You will notice on the BGG there is no image available, but there are an abundance of images of other Horrified games.
Yeah.
Have you played any?
I love Horrified. It's like one of the games that sort of got me maybe into cooperative games more. I wasn't doing that many cooperative games, but when the first one came out, I think maybe it was like 2018, 2019.
And that was the Universal one, right?
Yes,
that's the one I played.
With Dracula and all the Universal.
The Swamp Man and...
I think that was actually one, so we used to do a thing...
Creature from the Black Lagoon, not Swamp Man.
I used to do a thing at my house where we would do a game night once a week, and we would always go buy a new game every time we were going to do a game night.
Yeah.
And Horrified was one of the last games I bought before the pandemic. It was like for a game night right before, January 2020 or something
so
like that.
Stuck in your head.
Yeah, we played it a lot at the beginning of the pandemic for sure.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the playthrough of it, and I also am not a huge cooperative gamer, so you've really got to woo me.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm excited about this, though.
Yeah.
So this is like the 4th, I think, in the Horrified line. There's the Greek monsters. There's the cryptids one.
I'm really into Greek mythology right now because I've talked about how I'm into a series called Chaos that got canceled before it even had a chance. Jeff Goldblum as Zeus.
It
what more do you
wasn't
need?
chaotic enough.
Sadness.
I wonder how so this must just be like Horrified, but with Dungeons and Dragons characters? I wonder how
that is what I believe is the case. So
place your bets in chat.
Beholders
what enemies? Yeah. Well, okay. I guess Becca's claiming beholders.
That's what I see.
Oh, is it
the
listed?
description says terror is in the eye of the beholder. It will not only set players against 4 of the classic RPG most fearsome foes, but it will also introduce new gameplay elements inspired by the mechanisms of D&D. Mind flayers, possibly.
Yeah. Good call.
That sounds fun.
All right.
I'm into it.
Wow. Out of the frying pan and into the furnace, they say, with Furnace Duel.
Boy, that was well done. How are you not the main host of this show? Sorry, Ruel, you just got replaced.
We have a point system for transitions. I look ahead.
You just got
I
a
just sit
lot
there
of
thinking
points
about transitions. Out of the Mind Flayer pan and into the Furnace Duel. Okay, we did it. This is a 2-player follow-up game to Furnace, which I have not played. Have you played
love Furnace. Furnace was in my top 10 of the year when it came out.
Tell me
year
more.
It came out, I think it came out 2021. Or 2022, not old, but Furnace was a really fun game that mixed like auction bidding with an engine building aspect.
Okay.
So you are bidding on these cards, and then cards are going to go into your production line, and then you are running your production line. And so there's a real engine building, upgrading aspect to it. But one of the coolest things about Furnace to me was that when you won a bid for a card, you got the card. But when you lost the bid for a card, you got benefits from the card. You got resources and things like that.
Like here on the bottom part?
Exactly. Some of those things are the stuff you are producing at the bottom part and how you're getting more goods and more points. But then there's also a way that you're gaining goods for the bids that you've put down on it if you've lost it. So there were times you were trying to lose a card and you won and you're like, no, I don't actually want that card. I wanted the resources.
Oh, it's what other people have bid trying to get it is a resource
I can't remember exactly how you gain the resources. It's been a minute since I played it.
I guess we'll have to pick it up in order to find out. Furnace, let me click on back. Furnace Duel is coming out later this year.
I will say the regular Furnace, like, not good at 2 players, right? Like, because of the bidding system and stuff like that, it's never a game I would ever play at 2 players. So I'm stoked that there's now a 2-player option for it.
I mean, love me some 2-player games.
I think this is a thing that's really they're coming out with a lot of dual versions in the board game world, and I'm here for it.
Because they realize most people have the easiest accessible player to play with is usually their significant other or roommate, and look, we wish we could have a board game night every night, but you need those 2-player games to fill in the gaps. So you can play a game every night.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, the next game we're going to talk about splattering onto the canvas here is Canvas Critters.
Yeah.
Critters from the forest work to create the most pleasing canvases. Did you say you've heard of this one?
I have. I've demoed this one.
Ooh.
So Katya, who is one of the designers of it,
Katya Howatson.
Yeah, is well known online, but you wouldn't know her name or her face as much. She does all the mosaic artwork of board games. If you see artwork that is like the cover of a board game, but done all with components or things like that, they're really, really gorgeous. She does them as commissions. She does them on Instagram. She does them as stuff like that, but they're really cool. And the way her brain works, where she can basically just the spatial puzzle of putting all of the components together and then just remembering where components go back to when she has to put them away and stuff like that. She makes these beautiful mosaics. So the whole idea of this is you get to make your own mosaic with game components and things like that. You are, drafting some components and trying to make a thing that's on a card. The card says cupcake, and then you are trying to, hey, I'm going to make a thing, and then there's a candle on top with a flame and stuff like that.
All right, we've got some examples. I'm just on Google search, but these are really, really beautiful. On unfilteredgamer.com, there's an artist profile. These are so cool.
She makes really cool stuff. And,
I think we've looked at some of these before. Hey, Sagrada.
Yeah. Obviously, in this game, they're not expecting us to be as talented as her at artwork, so you're not going to be that involved, but you are getting sort of random components and then using those components to put together an image.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so creative critters from the Mosaic Forest have gathered at the annual art festival being held at Gallery Grove. The famous Bianca Blanco is curating a new show. So players secretly receive ribbons from the curator at the end of each turn, awarding them secret points. Is it kind of like a pass the judge game? But
I don't know. I mean, I didn't play a full game of it. I just got to demo like how it is. I think it is. I think it's somebody guessing what you have made. Like you're trying to. You have hilarious. A secret card, I think, and then you're trying to make the thing, and people are guessing what you are making.
Okay, great. And then do people just like go rogue and just make something obscene if they don't think it's going to be in the cards? That's fun too.
That's when you play with me. That's how I play.
Right? In this party-style game, 2 to 6 players draft multicolored animal-shaped meeples to create the most eye-catching mosaics based on the theme chosen by the curator for that turn. Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet and very adorable. And I love that she has taken this thing that she's great at and found a way to teach it to other people.
Turn it into a game.
Yeah. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about before we move on to other topics is Ethnos 2nd Edition.
Nice.
This is a game I played long ago. We were talking about when did the first one come out. Ethnos came out in 2017. And the first edition is area control, and you play with different factions. Well, let's just go ahead and pop on back to classic Ethnos, because this is a re-implementation. I mean, I think
a lot of just games look way better now than they used to. I think we just take component quality and artwork and all that stuff more seriously now than we did 10, 15 years ago. And so this is just such a prettier version of the game, right? That board and the cards and stuff.
So that's original Ethnos. Something I did like about original Ethnos is your area control pieces stack and click together.
Still does that in the new one.
Yeah. You said you got to play test this one as well?
No, I just know about
things.
it. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I will say.
Oh yeah, there they are clicking.
Yeah. One of the things that Ethnos is a great recommendation because. When you have a 6th player, there's not that many strategy games, right? You think in party games once you get up to that 6-player count, and Ethnos is a really good game that plays 6 players. So if you're looking for a strategy game for a high player count, that's one to think about.
Totally. It's one I love pulling out. Before all of my games lived at the studio, except for a select few like Carcassonne,
sure.
I had them organized by player count because it was so frustrating to have a game night and then be looking for the games that you could play with that number of players, because there's always like, oh, can I bring a friend? Well, yeah, of course you can bring a friend, even though now we can't play so many games.
I think you're the first person I've ever heard of that organized it like that, and I am jealous now. I think that's a great way to do it.
Thank you.
Mine are, just chaos.
We actually have an alphabetized system here, but
wow.
Might be time for an announcement right in the middle of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it right. I'm gonna say it. They're all in boxes of alphabetized games because we're moving.
Wow.
We're moving to our new studio. February 1st, we get the keys, and we will be slowly moving over. There will be no interruption in programming of this show or other things.
Congrats.
Yeah,
I got to see a video of the space, and it's an upgrade for sure.
We'll be there soon. We'll be doing
I'm excited for you
more offline. Sorry, guys, offline board game nights for collaborators, and just as a way to bring the community together because we'll have the space.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's really, really exciting.
I'm stoked.
New studio. This one still feels new. I know, right? Well, we were definitely in my house for a lot longer than we've been in this studio. We've been here for 2 years, but the more we grow, the more we grow, you know?
I mean, that's awesome.
Bringing more people on the team all the time, and it feels really good. It's really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Justin. I should have told you this news ahead of time. Justin is also one of our collaborators that helps us out with a ton of stuff here.
Nice.
But yeah, right in the middle of the show, smack dab, secret news drop.
Right on.
And we have one more game to talk about here in our grab bag of games. This last one is Floristry. This is, find my notes, a 2-player game. The artist is Mari Tan, and the designer is David Gordon, and Tam.
Who designed Monkey Palace, if you've played that one, which I loved this past year, and they've got some other ones coming. They have Crafting the Cosmos is coming up this year that I'm excited about.
I hear people talking about that a lot. This is a tile-laying game. My jam.
A quick reload on that page?
Quick old reload.
See if it's cooperating? It's not.
Let's unplug and replug in the HDMI.
Oh, I could have done that over here while you're still talking.
Well,
I can tell you one of the things that makes
there it goes.
Is it working?
Yeah.
One of the things that makes Floristry different and unique is you'll notice there's like a phone or something in the middle of that the player area. That thing off to the left is a phone right there. You're using an app, and you are bidding for those tiles to add to your area, but you are basically, that's a countdown, and when you press it, that is how much you're bidding. And so if you press it really early, you're bidding a lot to get those tiles.
Auction.
Yes, and so it is, we're sitting opposite of each other, and I'm like, I want this for cheaper, but if they press it before I do, then, and so you're like,
oh my God, that's so
when do I do it? And when do I press it to get the tile that I want? And then, with the tile laying, it's like many games you've played where you're trying to create areas of the same flower.
Sure,
and
that's
stuff
not the innovative part.
That starts
like,
pretty standard, but the how you auction, how you bid for stuff is pretty interesting in the game.
Apparently that's called a Dutch auction.
I've never heard that before.
That's how they do it in the Netherlands, I suppose. All right, it's the historic Aalsmeer Dutch auction to win the best flowers and use them to create the most charming window display.
Yeah.
And David Gordon also designs Stonemeyer's latest hit, Finspan, and Gordon and Monkey Palace, of course. in the words of Ruel, we love a good-looking tile laying game.
Yeah, and this one also plays in like 15 minutes, so it's just a quick 2-player game. It's one you can play multiple times in a row.
I'm already feeling the dopamine hit of just sitting there waiting. Of like, I see your hand flinch. I'm gonna not me.
I've got a copy of it if you want to play it.
I do want to play. You got to bring it back in.
Yeah.
Bring it to our game night.
Okay.
All right, that's it for our grab bag of games. Now, we're gonna pop over to a interview that Ruel did, which is our Society Sidebar. Ruel has interviewed Ascadelia Hattress from All Play, and this is brought to you by our sponsor, the World Series of Board Games. After that, stay tuned because we're gonna be playing kind of a big deal.
Hi, friends. Here's the Society Sidebar you've all been waiting for. I know you haven't, but you know what? It's good to be back here. Happy New Year, everybody. Got a great guest today. I'm super excited to bring her on. And without any further ado, let's bring on Ascadelia from All Play. Hi, Ascadelia.
Hi there. How's it going?
Good. It is going. It's a new year. Lots of new gaming going on. I hope you've been able to get some gaming in 2025.
A little bit. Mostly a lot of solo board game arena things because everybody's been spending time with friends and family, and I'm new to my area, so still discovering those gaming groups here.
Oh, okay. I love board game. We need to find each other in board game arena so we get some games going on. Do you have a go-to game on BGA?
I've been playing a lot of Ark Nova. I don't have a physical copy of the game, and it's slowly becoming my favorite. So I think the other day I played 3 straight games of Ark Nova, and then, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, but, that's awesome.
I've been playing a little bit of that. Play testing some games coming from All Play on there too.
That's great. My brain just instantly went into melt mode hearing that you played 3 games of Ark Nova in a row. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot. And when I looked at the time, I went, oh, I just literally spent 6 hours playing Ark Nova.
Wow. That's awesome, though, to get 3 games like that in, because that game, in real life at least, I know it takes a lot longer than 6 hours for 3 games.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. And on the computer, it streamlines it a lot. So while I do prefer in-person play, it was really nice to just be able to reset and get going.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, Ascadelia, for folks that don't know who you are, can you just talk a little bit about who you are and what you do in the tabletop industry?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. So I am a content creator. I do the Ascadorkable Gamer on TikTok and Instagram. So I make my own content, little funny skits and things here or there. You may have seen me around conventions if you go to those. I make skirts based off my favorite board games. Dresses are coming this year. And then I also work full-time for All Play. I do a little bit of their customer service, but I'm also their media relations contact. So I'll be the one hosting your media sneak peeks and sending out review copies and things like that.
Nice. Yeah, I remember, coming across you on Instagram years ago and just following you along. And I always loved all the cool, just fashion that you brought. Like, you literally make your own dresses and skirts, right? Based on board games. Yeah. And my favorite, I know it was a big hit with a lot of folks, was Boop. When you did the Boop skirt. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The Boop skirt was an idea that I had. So, a little bit about me, and some people don't know this, the skirts are actually a crutch. I'm a huge introvert, so I have a lot of social anxiety. I'm very shy. I get very nervous at conventions and meeting people, and people started to recognize me. And that was harder for me to just ice break. People come up and be like, hey, you're this person, and I get really intimidated. So I loved fashion. People always talked about my clothes. So I was like, what if I could make my clothes the center of attention? So not only did I just love creating these things, they actually gave me an opportunity to break the ice and not feel so awkward or put on the spot when people came to talk to me. So the Boop skirt, you could play the game on the skirt. So I actually sewed the game board on there, added some Velcro on the back and front of these hats. And when somebody would come up and I'd get a little bit nervous, I'm like, oh yeah, you like the skirt? Do you want to play a game? So it actually really helped me to kind of get through a lot of social interactions that were overwhelming to me.
Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's such a what a way to handle that. I think that's so awesome. And any interactions we've had in the past have always been great. And I've always thought, this person's like so cool. I'd like to get to know her a little better. So again, thank you for joining us on Society Sidebar today. Just backing up a little bit, Ascadelia, how did you get into the hobby, like board games, modern board games? Did you play games as a kid, and then did you discover modern board gaming, or have you been a gamer all your life? How'd that go?
I have always loved board games. There's kind of like I liked Monopoly as a kid. I was a Ren Fair addict when I was a child, so I actually went to Ren Fairs every year of my life. And that kind of leads into an adjacent group of D&D players and role players and things like that. And as soon as I was old enough, I started working at Ren Fairs, and so I got invited to play D&D a lot, and then I got invited to play Munchkin, and then it started growing and going into that, and it started to develop from there. And then when I discovered solo games is really because I moved so much and was starting over so many different times, solo games really became really important to me, because even if I felt really lonely and I still hadn't found that niche of friends, those solo games really were there for me. But it really stemmed from my beginning in Ren Fairs.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up solo gaming, because I've been a solo gamer ever since I discovered modern board gaming, and that was only because my partner, Michelle, she wasn't into the game that I first got, which was Pandemic. She loved the theme, but she didn't really like the gameplay, so I just literally soloed that for the first month, and I was like, this is really cool. I've never played a game by myself, and I think that really opened my eyes to what modern board games can bring, and I love hearing how you really got into that through, starting with Ren Fair and a Munchkin and D&D. I feel like there are a few people that follow like a similar pathway into the gaming hobby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, that's your past, but let's talk about the present. Like right now, what are some of your most recent favorite gaming memories or experiences that you had in recent times?
Well, so I recently moved to Kansas City because I work full time with All Play. So I'm in a brand new space. So I don't have a lot of opportunities for gaming in person right now. So my most recent ones obviously have been on BGA with Arc Nova. And then at conventions, so PAX Unplugged, I got to introduce the media to some new games. So I really love teaching games. That's one thing that I really like, and that's important to me. So being able to teach a bunch of people new games was really exciting. So I'd say that's probably my most recent exciting thing. And also just getting to play test a lot of games that aren't out yet. Now that I work with a publishing company, it's really cool to see games that aren't even out yet and see them from the ground up being built. So that's coming from just being a consumer and somebody who just loved games to I'm working in the industry and getting to see how these are created, the designs, the art, how it's formed is really, really cool. And then I have been trying to branch out and make friends in the Kansas City area. So I've been going to solo games at our local game cafes like Cardboard Corner and things like that. I haven't been brave enough to talk to people, but I'll go and I'll solo a game around people.
Yeah.
Trying to build up that courage, and maybe if there's something going on, I can jump in.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to approach it, right? Go there, get comfortable, and then sooner or later, you may or may not, reach out to others and figure out a way to get into the space and play games.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been talking about games, and you touched on this a little bit, Ren Fair and your, entry into the tabletop world. What are some of the non-tabletop things that you're excited about these days? I mean, here in LA, besides all the fires and stuff, we do have a Ren Fair coming up real soon, and I've never been, and I think I'm gonna go for the first time, Ascadelia. I think I'm gonna go for the first time.
I really wish I could be there with you.
Yeah.
So the California Ren Fair, I believe yours is the Pleasure Fair. Is that the one that's starting soon?
I think so. I'm not sure.
That is so the fair that I used to work for and I directed, I was a director there and a performer, was the New York Renaissance Fair. So their sister fairs are the California Pleasure Fair and Bristol. And I've always wanted to go to the California Fair. So I want to live vicariously through you. You need to go.
Yeah.
If I can like manage coming. If I have a place to stay, I'll come with you. I don't care. You need to go. You need to go.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna hold you to this.
Yeah, now that I've said it, I put it out there. It's gonna happen.
You have to do it now. We all need to force you.
Yes. My buddy Oscar goes every year, so he invited me and Michelle. So Michelle's never been either, so we're gonna go and sort of like see what it's all about. Hopefully.
If you need any tips, if you need help finding, if you want to dress up, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I will help you. I love taking new people to fairs. So here in Kansas City, they have a small one, and actually was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. But I convinced a bunch of people to go. I was like, we're going, and I don't care. And there were some people who had never been to fair before.
Oh,
so
nice.
Really excited to convert them.
Yeah. Well, now that I have your email, you may be getting a few of them for me real soon.
Yes.
But besides, anything non-tabletop related that you're excited about these days?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
So something in my past, I was an aerial performer, so that goes back to my Ren Fair days. I used to do aerial silks and lyra, and I used to perform with fire and things like that. And I have been out of commission in that realm for the last 6 years. My mom got sick, and I took time off to go help her recover, and then really just life happened, and I couldn't go back. And I started on Friday. My very first class into aerials, and then loved it so much and got so excited I signed up for a second class.
Nice.
So today has been a very painful day. My arms, like reaching them higher than this, hurts.
Oh my gosh.
I'm jumping back into aerials, aerial silks, and trapeze currently.
That's awesome.
And I have 17 classes ahead of me that I'm currently signed up for. So I'm very, very excited for that.
So like the first time back, was it like riding a bike? Did you remember how to do anything, or is it like...
Yes, it's been an emotional roller coaster because my body remembers everything. It's like, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then my body's like, I remember how to do that. However, I also can't lift your weight any longer. And I was like, that's true. So it's challenging. And I definitely, it came with a lot of emotional triggers. I was super excited to get back on the silk. And then at the same time, I was like, I used to be able to climb up there. And it was hard to see that I have to take these steps back and adjust and be kind to myself and understand that it's been 5 or 6 years and that I have to be patient and that the strength will come. But after the second class, because I took a second class on Sunday, my body felt really good to be back. It still really hurts, but it was very excited, and that I was still able to do a bunch of things. If you follow me on social media, I have been posting a little bit here or there to kind of follow my own journey if I look back, but if anybody else was interested too. But it's mainly for me.
That's great. That's so cool. I'm so glad you're, finding joy again in something that you used to do. And actually that's the perfect segue as we wrap things up here on Society Sidebar. Gaviola, anything happening with you as far as All Play is concerned, and also just talk about anything that's new at All Play and that's coming up. Maybe if you can give us a sneak peek, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, and it's the perfect timing.
Yeah.
So on January 28th, All Play is actually launching their next Kickstarter. Some of you may be familiar with Eamon Anderson's hit Gnome Hollow.
Ooh.
We signed Twinkle Twinkle by Eamon, and it'll be launching on Kickstarter on January 28th, along with a game called Waddle in our 1 Minute to Teach line. It's these little penguins. It's so freaking cute. And then Merchants of Andromeda, which is a Rainer Knizia game. So those will all go live.
That's the one and only Doctor. Oh my gosh, yes! I'm all in. Yeah, I'm all in.
So it'll go live January 28th. You'll start to see a little bit here and there of content coming up. We're actually hosting an event here in Kansas City. So if you're local to Kansas City, you can come play the games with us on the 24th, I believe, the Friday before the launch. We're going to do a huge event at Cardboard Corner in Overland Park in Kansas over here. So you can come play all of those games with us. They'll be all prototypes, but pretty much finished copies of almost all of them. So those are coming. Alibi, which some people got to sneak peek at PAX Unplugged, will be coming. That's something that you can get in one of our upcoming pledge managers for one of our Kickstarters. Things are coming, and it's going to be exciting. And then Twinkle Twinkle, Merchants of Andromeda, and Waddle will release at Gen Con.
Awesome. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the heads up. And, as we wrap this up, where can people find you on the socials, Gaviola?
Well, as long as it still exists on TikTok, you can find me at the Ascadorkable Gamer along at Instagram and Facebook, the same handle. You can find me in all those places. And I also have a pretty memorable name. If you put AZKA into anything, it pretty much pops up my profile, which is pretty funny.
Thank you again so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Folks, that's going to do it for the Society Sidebar. We're going to turn it back to future Ruel and future Becca.
Hey, thank you, Past Ruel. And shout out to Kansas City, where All Play is based, and Ascadelia just moved. And with that, it is time to find out if Grant really is kind of a big deal, because it's time for our
Jacked Up Match Up.
Nailed it!
That felt good.
Yeah,
That felt
I know,
good.
right? It's pretty sick. All right, let's pop into this one so we can see our guest faces. We have Joe Johnson of Tabletop Jocks and everything else on the internet.
What's going on?
Oh, wow, we are so lopsided. No, it's good. I like it like this. It's good. Joe, what are you doing here today?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm going to be filming some episodes later on from Tabletop Jocks, so y'all can catch those in a couple of weeks, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to be playing some Magic the Gathering Commander later, and that's why we wrangled Joe in here for the morning show. We said, you're playing a party game, put on the mic. It's Jake Michael.
Hello.
Hey, co-founder.
Thanks for having me.
I'll laugh you anytime. Oh, you're laughed, so that's great. All right, Grant. Now, we players know how to play. I'm kind of a big deal. Do you want to give the quickest prompt before you jump into being our first leader?
First of all, somebody asked, and we did an online competition, and somebody asked in the chat earlier if we ever landed on a name for this guy. We did a whole March Madness bracket. Pickles Cage is our mascot.
I love that there was a bracket. Do you remember any runners up?
Oh yeah, Benadryl Cucumber Patch was a solid one.
That's the winner for me. Cucumber Patch is, wow, I'm thinking outside the box.
Dilly Idol finished real high. There was a lot of good ones.
Excellent. I'm so on board.
But just the elevator pitch for everybody explanation is one player is going to be giving a response to a prompt based on a hidden token that nobody else sees, and you are exaggerating for the better or for the worse, and everybody else is trying to guess how much you're exaggerating.
Yeah.
So that's it.
This is what we see on our player boards. We see from -3 to +3, and that's all we're indicating.
Okay. I am going to do my, I take 2 prompts and then choose one of them. My ability to bake desserts.
Oh.
Okay. So, let's see what I got here. Look, I'm not much of a kitchen person in general. Like, I'm not really a cook.
Don't have
and I'm not. No, I have one, and I can use it. Like I have used it before. I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just not much. You know what I am? I'm a Trader Joe's preparer of food. You know what I mean? Like it's. I don't really cook, but I can do stuff on the stovetop and boil stuff and fry things and stuff like that. So ability to bake desserts. I did bake cookies for the first time ever during the pandemic. That was the thing that I did.
What type?
It was like a sugar cookie mix that I had in a jar for about 5 years. And then I finally.
So nice and fresh.
I finally made it, and I don't know that I've ever made a dessert outside of that.
How were the cookies? You didn't say if they were.
They
good.
actually turned out all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am locked in on my guess.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, Ray is also playing in the tech booth, everybody.
I'm also here.
Ray's here.
Okay. So now everybody else can reveal their answer.
1, 2, 3, flip.
Oh, -1.
Go 0.
-1.
Negative.
I got -1.
-1.
So
Big
close.
winner, so I get 2 points.
So yes, if you are exactly correct, you get 2 points. If you're 1 off in either direction, you get 1 point.
Okay.
So
Which was me.
yep.
I guess -2.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
You sounded worse than you were.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty bad.
So you get 2 points
And I
because
get 2 points because some people got it exactly correct, but not everybody. The active player either gets 2 points or 0 points.
I'm a little sad I didn't use one of my
Yeah.
3 bold slices, which give me a +1 if I was exactly exactly on it.
Yeah, the bold slices is essentially a way to double down on your answer. If you're exactly correct, you get extra points, but if you're one away, no points.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Joe, pick your favorite of those two.
Pick
I did
one
it. I
of
ruined
these.
it. I was the one. I ruined the neoprene mat, everybody.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna put this one at the bottom, and this will be my interest in tarot cards.
Oh.
So let's see what this is. Okay. You know, it's funny because my fiance is really into astrology, and you would think that I would be more into tarot cards, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know, it's like, it's cool. You know, I see it on TV, and I'm always intrigued.
You watch not like a show.
Yeah. I mean, all the little witchy shows and stuff like that, when they always bring up your tarot cards, or like if they have like a scary movie that I'm kind of interested in, like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I don't think I can really get into it as much.
So if your fiance was like, hey, I really want to do a tarot card reading for you, how well would you like feign excitement?
I'd probably say she should probably have like a girls' night out kind of thing.
I won't even do it for the fiance.
I don't even know.
I support you doing that somewhere else.
Yeah, but you better get it though. You better get it way over there.
You're a guy who makes a show about card games, so I would think you would like cards. Do you like the art on tarot cards?
I mean, some of them just really don't make sense.
That's true.
Like, I mean, look. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's just how I feel about them.
All right.
Okay,
I'm good.
Let's flip.
-2.
I said
Zero.
Really?
-1.
It felt so neutral.
Oh, -3.
Oh!
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's go.
I was like, you wouldn't even do it for his fiance.
Yeah,
He's a nice person.
That's what got me. I was like, oh, you got it.
Extreme like apathy and not either way. I'm completely neutral on that.
Yeah, me too. I felt that.
But that just tells me that Joe is so chill of a person that even when he's like absolutely not 100%, he's like, no, thank you.
I was like, for your fiance, you would do a lot that you don't care about personally.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, we got places to be.
Oh, is that?
All right, can you deliver these two to that sicko over there?
Whoops.
Oops.
What did you guess over there on that
I guess
one?
-1. I think I was colored by my own loathing of witchy stuff.
I'm gonna read
Don't
your
come at me
tarot
in the
cards
comments.
on this show next time.
I know. I actually I don't know if anybody else. I'm not into all that astrology stuff, tarot cards. I'm not into it at all. And I say that, and yet every time I meet somebody that I have a crush on and I find out their birthday, I'm like, is this a good sign? Is this compatible with me? And I'm like, this is all BS. Wait, but will we have?
You know,
Can you chip me as well?
Do we hear what our horoscope
me as
should
well,
be,
sir?
and we decide that is the personality type we'd like to lean into, in which case it can tell you a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, my truth is I'm actually into.
Sure.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Jimmy read your cards?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to read some tarot on the show. I just decided that is what I will be bringing. I think it's very fun. It is a door into someone's psyche.
Have you done a How to Play for Tarot?
Yes, I have.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's on our channel. Or
Check
on
out the How to Play Tarot. No, it's here. It's here on the channel.
Okay,
Check
I
it
thought
out.
so. I
It was
didn't
my
know if this was
very
there.
last how-to with Becca, and my BFF Mel is in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's great that we're delaying this because I'm going to name drop for mine. This is about a relationship with an old friend from high school. My best theater friend when I was in high school is Corey Wade.
Oh,
who
your
you
name dropping
may
the name.
remember was on the first season that they had Boys in the House of America's Next Top Model. Ooh. He came in third. It was a travesty. Should have won.
That's amazing. That's a bronze medal, which is a great
should have
color.
won. And just it was kind of cool. We kind of I was a little nervous to talk to Corey after Corey was on TV. I didn't want to be
What
like,
happened?
we're still BFFs, I didn't want to like glom on or whatever. So we kind of drifted apart a little bit. But then I ran into him when I was visiting home, and we like got back together, and we've sort of kept in touch ever since, which has been really nice because I was like,
I love the idea of you being with a model. You said we got back together.
Also,
there's a long line.
I will note, we were describing the closeness with the old friend, and you had not heard this name before. You two had not heard this name before.
I didn't know anything about Corey.
So.
And I auditioned for America's Next Top Model when they did a short season.
Wait, really?
5, 6?
Short seasons.
5, 6, and below.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's insane.
Oh, did they really do a short? I did not know.
5, 6 is not
Absolute cattle call. They'd say, you this way, you this way, you this way, and I made it through 3 rounds, and then they sent me home. It was in Chicago, where we're going to Magic Con soon.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Were you best friends in high school or just theater friends in high school?
Best theater friend.
Best theater
So
friend.
like of all,
Interesting.
it's not like I had a
that
best.
was-
My best friend was more like car stuff. Best friend, but definitely my
Car
best
guy.
friend.
I'm locked
Was a
in.
car?
Yeah, same.
I feel all right.
I feel good about
But,
this.
Fine.
All right, what do you got?
I got
I
a
did
plus
plus
1.
two.
Plus one.
+1. I +1 because after I ran into him and he expressed like that he really missed me, I was still too nervous to stay in touch with him.
Yeah, I heard that.
But Corey, if you're watching, I'll text you one of these days. I swear.
Yeah,
I'll
you
get
should
courage.
definitely watch
Just
it.
watched and tuned in for the first time. He's like, this guy's still talking about it?
I'm mad I didn't use my bold slices
Yeah.
because we're just normally you play 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, it depends on player count.
Yeah.
At a higher player count, you'd play just 1 round, and at a lower player count, you'd play 2 rounds.
Yeah,
a
well,
round,
we're just
so.
going to do one for
Yep.
show purposes, and I really should have used all my bold
Yeah, use them or lose them.
Not everybody was right on that one, right?
I gave you points. I was the
2
only
points.
one that was wrong.
Yeah.
So you got points because of me.
I got 2.
I said plus, yes, you got 2.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Describe your love of goth night at the local.
I gotta hear this.
Can't wait.
This is the moment where I'm like, okay, this game rules.
So I will say, I wrote all the cards, and a lot of them are written from personal experience. One time I took a date out to like one of my favorite bars, not knowing that on certain night of the week it was goth night. So I was like, oh, this is my favorite bar, and then we walk in and it's all goth people, and I was like, oh, this is weird.
No matter how you try to frame it, it's like, oh, okay,
It was the first date for sure.
People.
I'm also a theater kid, like I think all of us in some capacity, and so I have a ton of friends who are way into goth night for sure, and so by association, I should be into it as well. But I'm just not much of a person to dress up, and I feel like you should be dressing up for goth night most time. That's a big part of the aesthetic and the culture.
You don't like dressing up.
I don't like dressing up into it feels.
You didn't put on the bear costume once.
Oh no, I'll do a bear costume.
Okay, great.
That was just a matter of it was too small.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be in a bear costume than a goth costume, I think.
Gotcha.
But sometimes you can also just do it light with just a little bit of,
Sure.
eyeshadow.
So how you feel about Halloween?
But that's the thing is, I like getting kids candy for trick or treating. I don't love dressing up. I like other people having fun, but I'm like pretty low on the totem pole for Halloween.
I'm locked in.
Jake, I know
love
that
goth
you.
music though.
I was about to say,
will
I know that you like some pretty heavy music.
I do.
Did you used to have a phase where you did the whole aesthetic, or were you always?
I
Do
think
you
the
ever put on
closest-
eyeliner on a regular
I have
basis?
not on any regular basis. I think I've only done it sarcastically, and I think the closest I've gotten is just wearing band shirts is the closest I've gotten. But that said, I still love a dark bar, but
I'm good.
can't-
I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
I'm ready.
I'm so. This has like been the hardest one for me. I got my answer.
All right, show
I
'em.
tripled down.
Zero.
-2.
-1.
I'm on 0. I think that
I'm
was
on
just
0
straight
as
up
well.
true.
Business partner, co-founder.
Let's go.
Folded it.
Who got one?
You got 1 point.
Slices
Dang.
because I realized I hadn't used them and I didn't want to.
Wait, you can use more than
So you
one?
Yeah, you
get
use
the
all
most
3.
points you can get
I
in a
got
round is 5 points.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. And the bold slicers are up to you how you use them. You can use 1 in a round, you can use all 3 in a round, but you only get 3 for the game.
Good job, Becca.
Thank you.
Dang.
Wow.
I was debating between
Sorry, I know
-1
you
or
so
0,
well.
and I would have at least gotten a point.
You need to share on socials pictures of Goth Jake. That was -2. I need to see the truth.
I'll find it.
All right, I'm choosing between level of calm while you drive and ability to work on a team. Jake just made quite a face, so we'll go with ability to work on a team.
Thank you for making it.
Am I the boss of that team? You know what? I love working on a a team. It's really important
We know
to
it's
me
not
to have
negative.
there's only one of each.
There's one of each.
You want to
I'll stick it back in there.
Yeah.
We're gonna redraw.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I was already locked in at +3, so.
Oh, plus? You gave me a plus?
What?
I didn't even finish my sentence. Cool, I got the exact same thing.
Hey, the universe wanted you to answer this way.
I really enjoy working on a team. I think it's very important to be able to collaborate. I think one should have. It's great to grow up with siblings because then you understand what it's like to work with other people. All that being said, it's not my greatest strength. Because I like to be bossy. I like to tell people what to do. And those aren't necessarily the best team player abilities, unless, you're doing everyone's homework, which I did love to do, especially for chemistry. I love doing those chemistry equations. So yeah, I would say I enjoy working on a team, but I'm not great at it.
Okay, I already got my answer.
I'm locked in.
I used 3 bold slices. I'm
Same.
catching you right
Yeah,
now.
I feel like I gotta use.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I gotta
right.
use my 3.
Yeah, have to.
We
Last
all
round.
forgot to use our slices till the end.
I just wasn't
All right.
confident enough.
Well, we're playing a truncated game, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Locked?
All right.
Flip them.
I'm -1.
I'm
Plus
-1.
-2.
Ray is +1.
Yeah.
And the correct answer is everyone else's answer. So I get 2 points
you
as
use
well.
bold
Thank
slice?
you,
I
Ray.
did all. I used
Unfortunately,
them.
you don't get any points
Hey,
when
it's
you
all
use a
good.
bold slice.
Yep.
So if
And
I
you
use them
get-
all, I get 5
Yeah.
You get 5.
Wow.
You get 5.
One behind.
You're sitting close to me, so you felt the truth.
I was at 0, but I didn't
got
want
it.
to say 0 2
So-
times in a row. That felt bad, so I bumped it up 1.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, do you want to kick us off by saying your final score?
Oh yeah, because it's the lowest. I got 4.
4.
Hey, look, to be fair, I was only on 4 until that answer. So,
Joe, what you got?
I got 6. It's all good.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I got 9 with 5 points just on that. 5 points just from that last round.
And you
so-
have played before?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
many
great, because
times.
you did design this.
Yeah.
I got 10, just a hair above Grant.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Almost as good as 11, baby.
Well
Coming in
done,
hot.
team member.
Nice.
Grant, freaking awesome game.
Thanks, it's
I'm
fun.
kind of a big deal by Grant Lyon
Yeah.
and friends. Somebody named Adam.
Adam, yeah.
His name, last name I should know too.
Adam Bain.
Bain.
Yeah.
And where can people pick up a copy?
You can find it through the publisher, Left Justified Studio. It's also in a lot of friendly local game stores. A lot of friendly local game stores have picked it up. And if you want to, get it easily online, you can get it on Amazon and stuff like that too. So.
Did you say Left Justified Studio?
Left Justified Studio is the publisher. The people, they're probably their most famous game is Flapjacks and Sasquatches. It's a light
fun.
card
Yeah.
game
Heard of that.
and stuff.
Yep.
But they've got a bunch of fun games, and it launched with 3 expansions as well. So if you want some theme stuff,
There's 3 expansions for this
yeah,
already?
they launched it already with. The 3 expansions add 2 player boards, so you can up the player count to 12, and then just add themed cards. There is a nerd deck, think questions about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and things like that. There is also an After Dark version, which definitely goes real lean. The publisher was like, look, if we're gonna make an After Dark one, I don't want it to just be kind of After Dark. So they let me loose, and it is really After Dark. So just,
I know. I'm like,
Just know
your comedy is so clean.
Yeah.
That's a trademark. So that makes me think that
yeah.
your going dark is the dirtiest you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm not going to say it right now, but it gets in there. And then there's also a Christmas version, because if you know anything about me, I love holiday stuff. I'm obsessed with Christmas.
I didn't know that about you.
yeah.
That's so sweet.
And that's one of the things I like about the game, right? Is we got to know more about each other. I know that you actually are all right with tarot cards now, and I know that you did a counterplay on tarot.
I'm not good at reading tarot, but I like reading from the book and learning about people.
Hey,
Jake is way more into goth than I ever would have guessed before. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Grant, thank you so much for being my co-host on today's
Thank
Good Morning
you.
Society, for showing us I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Thanks to Joe and Jake for hopping in the game. And thanks to you for watching. We'll see you all next week on Good Morning Society. And we have a catchphrase that we say every week when we sign off. It's play some games, will ya? Okay, so on the count of three, 1, 2, 3.
Play some games, will ya?